Great. Think we're back in action here. All right. So where was I? SiteMap. It's like I said, it's our own internal GIS system that we've developed for you to use. It's a way of layering data that we're collecting, as well as anything that you wanted to add to the system potentially under some of our subscription offerings into one system, so you can see it in an easy to use platform. It's secure and it's also shareable. So if you wanted to share data between your teams, so if you ordered services from GPRS, you can actually share that with the rest of your team so that they can see it on their end as well. And we'll kind of get into that as we go. Just a quick agenda. So first, I'm just going to do a brief overview of GPRS, just to let you know where our current state is and where we are at with our deliverables. A lot of you we work with on a daily basis, so thank you for that. I really appreciate your business, and again, thank you for joining us today as we get you introduced to SiteMap and into the system so you can start using it. We're also going to talk about why we're changing things with our deliverables, and then followed up by a SiteMap demo. And again, this should only take about half an hour, so I'm going to try to do a hard stop right at 12:30. I'm sorry, 1:30. So if you have any questions, I can stay on for a little bit longer, or we can follow up after the call. So as a brief overview, GPRS, we visualize your built world. So we use a variety of different technologies to do that. So we can actually allow you to see those utilities that are below ground using GPR, using EM pipe locators. We also have video pipe inspection where we can get inside of those gravity lines and video those and also locate those on the surface. Once we locate everything on the surface with paint or flags or tape, we'll then collect that data. We also have acoustic leak detection services. So if we find a water line, we can actually listen to see if there's a potential leak and where that might be. We'll actually show you that on the ground, so it gives you an idea of where things are at. Once all that's is mapped out with paint on the ground, we're actually going to come back with GPS and pick up the location and upload it to the cloud and give you an automated deliverable that we'll go over. And then we also have the ability to collect that using drones as well as laser scanning services, where we can collect that and turn it into a virtual tour or a model. These are all things that we do on a daily basis at GPRS. So currently with our deliverable, after we map a job, you're going to receive a letter like this within 5 minutes of that project manager uploading it. So you'll get a PDF, you'll get a KMZ, and as well as a shapefile that you can use for your purposes. So if you wanted a little bit more detail, you would go into the KMZ. If you needed something just to print out and bring out to the field, the PDF is there. And then if, for instance, for the shapefile, if you needed to report something to 811, you can send them that shapefile, or bring that into your own CAD system to create a CAD file from the data that we're collecting. With the video pipe inspection, we give you usually a video with a report. If you order the NASCO report that we have, it'll show you a video on the right going through the line, and then we'll note any kind of defects and material sizes and diameters and all that sort of thing in the system there for you to peruse. With laser scanning, we'll come out after we've marked all the ground and GPS'd it. We'll collect a laser scan, and on the top left there, that's a view of a point cloud that we've collected. It's an online viewer. We also have the ability to give you a virtual tour on an offline mode that's actually installed on your local server. So the cloud version is really popular with our clients, so that you can log in wherever you're at and kind of see where the marks are at, maybe before the paint was washed away or before the pavement was ripped up. You could actually see those paint marks in that virtual tour. And then we even have the ability to create a 3D model from that data. So if we wanted to give you a civil 3D or a microstation drawing showing that line work that we found in 3 dimensions, so that you can overlay other drawings, we can do that. We have Navisworks. We also have Revit, where we do a lot of modeling, and we have a full team to help you do that. So obviously I went over our deliverables. We have a wide variety of deliverables, very influential with our clients. They love it. So why are we changing things? Why are we changing things up? Well, we have the report from our clients that they want to see their data all in one spot. They don't want to have to go through emails or look for different submittal letters. They want to log into a system and see all their orders in one location. Also, the data that we collect, it can tend to be sort of siloed between teams and between clients, so that if we're working for a number of contractors on one site, maybe you have to look at, one deliverable, but if you want to look at everything on site, you really have to combine all those deliverable letters to do that. So this really provides a way to unify everything that we found on a location from all the different contractors and owners that we've worked with. That's what we're really providing with SiteMap. And then again, we also have clients that don't have the ability to open certain file types that we give them. Maybe they don't have Google Earth installed, or maybe they're, they don't know what to do with a shape file. Well, now they can just log into a system and see it and start interacting with that data all on SiteMap without having to install software on your system. It's all online. We also have an iOS and an Android app, so you can download that and put it on your tablet or your phone. So now you have a mobile way of accessing that data without having to rely on an email or a file that's on the server to get access to it. So SiteMap really, our solution, we built it to drive accuracy so that you can see that data and what we found on site, a little easier. Centralize the data in one spot, so you're not looking at a lot of different sources or a lot of different types of programs to see that data. Enable your collaboration with your team so that you can share jobs from one person to another just by clicking and typing someone's email, or even having a subscription plan through us where you can have more of a unified view as a team. And then finally give you a way to visualize your infrastructure so that you don't have to have special software installed in order to see what we've collected and start working with it. So before I get into signing in and signing up for an account and getting you all into your own SiteMap and then going through the demo, I just wanted to throw this out there really quick. If you have questions, go ahead. You can send me an email or give me a call on my phone number there. We do have a support team with SiteMap, so if you have issues seeing your files, or you don't know how to export something, or whatever it is, feel free to reach out to either support or myself, and we'll get you to the right person to figure things out. And then also, if you have a team that you think you want to show this to, that could be really, could really benefit from what I'm showing you today, go ahead and use that QR code at the top. Scan that, and you can set up a Calendly appointment where I'll just set aside some time to meet with your team and go through a demo just like this, but more specific to your company. So before we get into the actual demo, I'd like you all to try and get into the system. So if you could go ahead and go to sitemap.com. That's right there on your screen there, www.sitemap.com. And when you get there, you're going to land on a page like you see in the background here. Once you're there, you just simply have to go to SiteMap at the top. Just click on that link. It's going to throw you over to the login/sign up window. Go ahead and click that. And then there's just a small process you have to run through to sign up for an account. And I'm just going to talk through this. But if you guys have any questions, again, you all have the ability to unmute yourselves. I hope you, if you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and type those in the window, or just start talking when you unmute yourself. But first, you're going to go ahead and enter your email address. You're going to send a code to your email that you'll have to type in a 6-digit number. Once that number is typed in, you'll go ahead and hit the verify code button. That should basically change your window so that you can then type in your password and verify that. And then finally, don't forget this click here to agree to the terms and conditions. These are just standard software types conditions so you can get in and use the system. There's a little checkbox at the bottom of a window that'll pop up. And once you've done all that correctly, there'll be a create button. This right here will turn blue, and you'll be able to hit that button. So go ahead and try to do that, and I'll just keep talking while you do that. Once you hit create, it should open another window where you'll have to type in your phone number, and it'll send you a code. And then from this point forward, whenever you get into SiteMap, you'll just have to type in that code that it sends you through your cell phone so that you can access the system. This is not something that you can have a group login for. It is an individual login, and it is a free software that we're giving away with our services. We do have paid options that we can talk about, but today I'm focusing just on this viewer that you all have access to, that you can log in and start using today. Great, and with that, I'm gonna actually get into SiteMap so we can start talking about some of the functionality there. And feel free to follow along with me if you're able to log in. You can try to do these with your own jobs, and I'll try to do my best to explain what we're looking at here as we go if you're just in listen mode. So when I log into SiteMap, I'm going to land on a dashboard. Your first time logging in is going to look a little different than this. You probably will have an empty list here with your recently accessed jobs. You'll probably don't have any documents either. It'll say no document found, or it'll just have nothing there as blank. But as you start using the system, these are going to start populating so that this site at the University of Toledo, that was the last job I went to the last time I logged in. So I can just go ahead and click that and get back to the same site really easily. Over to the right, there's a map of the US with blue dots on it. You may only have 1 or 2 or maybe 10 blue dots on the map. And what those dots are, they each represent a job that you've ordered through GPRS. So when I log in, I have the admin account. I can actually see everything that's in our system. So there's over 200,000 jobs that are visualized on the map with a submittal letter that are in SiteMap that we loaded over the last 2 years. So I have access to everything that we've done throughout the US. You will have access to anything that you've directly ordered through GPRS. So with this, you can zoom into the map here, but I usually tend to go to the full screen mode, which is the same as hitting your map viewer button at the top. So just kind of remember that those two buttons kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it'll load. And now it just expanded your map view so that you can see a little bit more of the US or the limits of your jobs. And I'm actually just going to zoom in to the University of Toledo just to use as a sample for today. So the University of Toledo is actually a partner of ours. We're gradually mapping the entirety of the campus, and all the data that we're collecting is shown in a unified view here on the screen. So if I'm going to back up and zoom in a bit, but if you look at all these little blue dots, those are each individual maps that were uploaded. So you can see every time we upload a map, it maybe only uploads a day or uploads a couple hours worth of work, but then as you start uploading more and more, it really starts to build out a full campus or an area as we start using the system. So with this, I can do some cool things. So over on the right-hand side, there's a layers button. In here, if I wanted to isolate a specific layer, so maybe I only want to look at my electrical systems, I can do that. And you may ask, what are these little symbols, the LPs and the T's and things like that? So those are all different attribute or different types of points that we've collected. So in here, I can tell you, basically isolate by different types of systems even. So maybe I only want to look at my site lighting. So that shows me just site lighting. Or maybe I just want to look at, landscape lights, which is only a couple, but maybe there's more, utility poles that I pull up, or maybe even site lighting is going to be a big one on campus. So you can see I can isolate and show the whole system. I can isolate down to individual entities that we've mapped just right here online. I don't see any questions up to this point, but again, if you have any questions, feel free just to jump in. I did give everyone the ability to unmute themselves, so you can feel free to talk. There's one question here. It says, good morning, Matt. Is there a way to change the job name to an internal job number in SiteMap? So right now, there is not a way for you to do it yourself, but we can do it on our end. Just let us know if there's a specific job that you would like to change the name of, and we can change that for you. It's a pretty simple task for us to do on the back end. So there will be abilities to do that on your own. Some of that may be more on the paid subscription. So there'll be more abilities on the paid than there will be on the free, obviously. But we're willing to work with you to make SiteMap work the way you need it to work for you for the most part. Yep, great. Also, so I can just go ahead and turn everything back on, and I'm gonna zoom into the map a little bit more just to give you a few more things you can do. So here I just focused on one area of the map. I'm actually looking at a couple different jobs that are overlaid on top of each other, and I know that because I have a scan boundary here, and then I also have a smaller scan boundary in the middle. So we didn't have to map it both times. It's already been mapped, unless it's a new area that we visited. So we're actually using this internally just to add to a map that's not complete. But obviously it just depends on how new that data is and if our techs have been able to check that. But it gives us a lot of insight on a site before we get to the job, or if we're bidding on it, to know what we can expect on site if we've already been there. So but then we have the ability to give you access to this if it's your job, or if it's your site. We have some subscription options to give you access to data that we've located for other people, for instance. So with this, if I wanted to, maybe I wanted to do a print. So I'm just going to load one job and give you an idea of how to do that. So like I said, I can actually view everything in as a unified job, or I can isolate down just to one specific job. So I loaded one job. I'm gonna go over here to print, and I can choose my coordinate system. I can choose my paper size, which I like an 11 by 17. The grid is like your northern and eastern grid if you want to show that on the print. I can choose a format. Maybe someone's trying to access a drawing that you're going to send them on their cell phone. JPEG is going to be a lot easier for them to open than a PDF sometimes. And then I can also hit this show print box, and this print box will jump on the screen. I can click on it and move it to wherever I like, and print whatever's inside that box. So go ahead and hit print. So this is really nice. So this is one comment we get from our clients, is that the automated PDF that we do, it's great that it's automatic, but sometimes it's hard to see. Well, this will allow you to print out the same data on SiteMap, whatever scale you like, and it's part of our services. So we've helped alleviate a lot of those concerns with this, scale and of those drawings with this way. So this will give me the option to save here in a moment, but I'm going to keep on moving until that pops up for me. Another thing I might want to do is export this data to a different format. So in this case, I'm going to go over to the left. There's a polygon tool, and I'm going to draw a box around the data that I want. Maybe I don't want the whole site. Maybe I just really need to focus on this half of the site. So I draw my polygon. I go over here to export, and it's letting, now there's finally a pop-up for my my PDF, and it is running a little bit slower because I'm presenting as well, usually a lot faster than this, but I'll go ahead and save that so you can see what that looks like. Let's do that first. So there's that JPEG that I printed. It's that same blow up area that I chose, but now it has the northing and easting shown. It's an 11 by 17, it has a legend. We're still working on some formatting stuff, but you get the idea of how this is working and how we plan to continually improve on the product from here. But going back to that export, so again, I drew my polygon, and now I'm going to go over to my export, and I'm going to start a new export. So in here, I can choose a variety of different file types. So KMLs, your Google Earth. Shape files are pretty popular for any kind of GIS platform. If you want to do your own CAD work, you can bring in shape files. And we also have a drawing exchange file that you can also bring into CAD or a lot of other types of systems. So these are all vector formats that will allow you to bring that line work into a drawing that you want to work on or that you already have created. So in here, I'm just going to choose a KML, for instance, and I'll just do a test. And that'll process. It'll tell you over here that it's working. And then when it's completed, there'll be a little red dot over the export, letting you know that you can download that data. While that's processing, so I can keep working while it's working in the background. I can go and show you a few other things. We talked about export. We talked about print. There is a help menu here. So if you wanted to go through our frequently asked questions, you can do that. Obviously, we're going to be adding to these questions over time. Since we've only been live with our clients for about 6 months, we have a few questions in here, but it's really just a start. We have a lot of training videos that have been recorded and added here. So you go ahead and look at those, and it'll tell you, how to do a few different things in the system. And again, I'm always here as well to help, or support team if you have questions that aren't being answered on this site. We also have different forms that you can download for privacy policies, and maybe you want a legend showing all of our icons. You can go ahead and download those right from the system here. I'm going to go back to my map viewer, and that's going to load for a second here. And it should show me that that test is done. Yep, it completed. So I'm going to download that, and then we're going to open up this KML so that we can see how that turned out. So when I hit download, it's going to prompt me to save that, and then I can then it'll actually store like normal, and I can open it in Google Earth for this type of file. All right, so we'll let that keep going. Any questions at this point? Anyone encouraged by what they're seeing? Are they getting into the system and seeing your own jobs? Go ahead and feel free to speak up if you have anything to add to what I'm showing here. Hopefully you're all able to get in the system and see the jobs that we've done for you directly under your account. And happy to answer any questions while we have you on the line. Here we go. We'll go ahead and download this test, and then we'll open that up in Google Earth so you can see what that looks like just as a sample. Once it downloads, I will do that. All right. Yeah, so like I said, we built this system for you. So we poured a lot of time and effort and people and money in order to get this to you, and we really wanted it to be included with our services for a lot of the viewing access, so that everyone can use it. It's not something that you have to really make a huge investment in to get started. A lot of facility owners, they don't have budget, they don't have staff, a GIS department to put together a GIS platform for you. We're actually doing it as part of our services, automatic. It's not something that you have to dedicate staff to monitoring and working on for those facilities. So it's really really a great tool to get started in mapping. And like I said, we do have subscriptions that are coming out where you'll be able to map more data beyond what we're collecting for utilities. Maybe you're a campus and you want to map out signage, or you want to map out exhibits at a zoo, or whatever it is. You can really use this as your mapping tool that's all online and easy to work with for your teams. So this was a sample. This was a sample I downloaded last time, actually, but you can kind of get the idea of what it would look like as an export. I think I must have exited out of that screen to be able to view it the right way. Or maybe I'm clicking on the wrong file. Anyway, you kind of get the idea of where we're at and what the offering is, and how hopefully how it may help your teams be more successful. So we have a couple more minutes. I'm really happy to take any kind of questions you may have or show you any additional features. There are some things over here underneath your name and your preferences. If you wanted to show, 5, 10, 30 of your most recently visited jobs, it'll actually track that as you start to load them in the dashboard. There's a lot of different notification options you can turn on and off, measuring tools. I changed my home page to my map viewer, kind of bypassed the dashboard. That's just an option that you can choose to do. And obviously there'll be more options over time that we'll add to the system. So here now, I changed this to 30 so you can see the last 30 jobs that I've loaded and kind of look through with different clients at different times. Well, one other thing I did want to share while I have you for one more minute. So I did say you can click and share. So if I wanted to share this with anybody, I could just click and share like that, type in their email and hit the share button. They can create an account and log in and do everything that I'm showing you here as well. But also, if I wanted to take that away from them, if I didn't want to share it with them anymore, maybe it was a subcontractor, I can just go over to my calibration or my collaboration tool, and I can just click and change this to no access and save it so that it would actually remove them from the list of people I'm sharing it with. Just to give you an idea of how you can do that. And the last thing too, I know we're at the close here. There also is the digital plan room. So if you wanted to just look at the files, just look at the automated deliverable that we produced for you, you can actually just go in the digital plan room and get to those files right there in that plan room. So go ahead and check that out too. But thank you again for joining. Happy that you all were able to take some time out of your day to meet with me. Again, if you want to go ahead and use the QR code there on the bottom left, you can go to SiteMap and log into your own account and see the data that you have. Otherwise, if you want to set up a demo with me, the top right QR code, you can scan that. It'll take you to my Calendly to block some time out for me to meet with you. And then there's always the support emails there listed as well. With that, if you were able to stick with me, I really appreciate it. Hopefully it wasn't, hopefully, you guys got something out of it beyond the virtual Starbucks card you're about to receive. But if you want to learn more, if your team wants to learn more, please feel free to reach out, and I'll stick around here for a little bit if there's any questions. So I see one question here from Alicia. Thank you. Do you use SiteMap to set up new jobs? So we actually usually right now we use it to review if we've been on a site. Eventually we do have plans to add a feature to draw a shape and get a quote kind of thing. So that'll be coming in the near future. But right now, any job that our guys in the field are mapping and uploading to the system, that's how they're automatically getting into the system that way. Really cool system. We're spending a lot of time developing it even further and seeing what else we can do with it. But we're just tip of the iceberg right now with all the possibilities. And beyond that, thanks for your time and have a great day. Thank you.